You look at me and you see a man who has disappeared. A man who was wanted for questioning by the police, but they couldn't find him. They still don't know where he is. And it's been over a year since I disappeared. But it wasn't always like this. I used to be a normal guy. I went to school, had friends, played sports, but I never really fit in. I always felt different. There was something inside me that made me want to break the rules, do something crazy. And when I did it, I felt alive. When I was 16, I got into fights. When I was 18, I started taking drugs. When I was 20, I was arrested for tagging trains. But no one knew it was me. They thought it was just some random punk middle schooler. I liked the attention. It made me feel important. I was a ghost. I was invisible. No one knew who I was. And that's when I realized that's how I wanted to live my life. Not as someone people knew, but as someone who was unknown, a shadow, or wraith. I started planning my disappearance. I saved up money, bought a new identity, and vanished. I left my old life behind and started a new one. I got a job, an apartment, a car. But I was always careful to keep my past hidden. I didn't tell anyone who I really was. I was living as a ghost. But after a while, I got bored. Being a ghost wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I wanted more. I wanted to feel alive again. So, I started taking risks. I robbed a bank. Then, I did something even crazier. I hacked into the city's computer system and shut down their entire network. They couldn't find me. The police were stumped. They had no idea who I was or where I was. And I was loving it. I was finally feeling alive again. Then, I did something even more crazy. I kidnapped a guy and brought him back to my apartment. I tortured him, played with him, messed with his mind. And when I was done with him, I let him go. He was never the same again. He became a shell of his former self. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. He was a zombie. And that's when I realized I wasn't a ghost. I was a monster. I was a predator. And predators don't hide in the shadows. They hunt in the light. So I stopped being a ghost and started being myself, but not the me that people knew. No, this me was different. This me was a monster. This me was a nightmare. I found a new apartment. It was big. It was spacious. It had everything I needed to make my victims feel comfortable. At least that's what I told myself, because what I really wanted to do was trap them, torture them, break them. The first girl I brought home was a social media influencer. She was the perfect target. She had everything I wanted. But she didn't know it yet. I invited her over for dinner. I made her favorite meal, and we talked. For hours. She was beautiful, she was smart, she was everything I wanted in a woman. But she was also a complete psychopath. We started playing games. We started flirting. And then we did something crazy. We started fighting. And when she slapped me, I snapped. I lost control and I killed her. I didn't mean to. It just happened. I was a monster. I was a predator. And now I was a killer. I panicked. I called the police and confessed everything. I turned myself in. They arrested me and took me to jail. But I wasn't scared. I was excited. I couldn't wait to be locked up. I was a monster. I was a predator. And now I was a killer. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Because being a ghost is boring, but being a monster is forever. So if you're tired of being a weak, pathetic worm, I have 3 words for you. Become a monster, join me. Let me show you how to disappear. Let me show you how to transform yourself into something more, something bigger. Something better. Become a monster, join me. Let me show you how to disappear.